For the first time in nearly 20 years, none of the top 4 tennis players in the world will advance to the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam tournament. Initially, 3 tennis Hall of Famers were eliminated. Serena, Novak, and Roger all lost at the year's Grand Slam. Now that Rafael is out, there will be no international players in the quarterfinals. Here's what we've learned so far. Well, what do we know about Rafael's loss at the US Open against Tiafoe? With Serena Williams' career ending after her loss to Ajla Tomljanovic at the US Open and Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer missing the year's last slam, Rafael was the last of 4 tennis player superstars standing at Flushing Meadows on Monday, Tuesday AEST. That is, until local hope Frances Tiafoe upset the 22-time Grand Slam champion in the 4th round with a 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3 victory. As a result, 2014 champion Marin Cilic is the only former Slam winner in the men's draw, facing Carlos Alcaraz in the afternoon session. Nadal's defeat also marks the first time since the 2003 US Open that none of them, Federer, Djokovic, or Williams, has reached the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam competition. Nadal, who had previously been unbeaten in major Slam matches this year, stated after his 4th round defeat that his playing was not up to par, and that Tiafoe was the superior player. Nadal only gave 2 breakpoint opportunities in the opening 3 sets, but he couldn't save either, allowing Tiafoe to take the 1st and 3rd frames. In the 4th set, the 22-time Grand Slam champion was unexpectedly weak, incurring 4 double faults and more unforced errors, 9 than the winner's 7. While reporters wondered if it was the suffocating humidity, injuries, or even the distraction of the roof closing mid-match, Nadal had a much easier explanation. Well, the distinction is simple, he explained. I had a horrible game and he had a wonderful game. Isn't that it in the end? Moving on, the hint of Will Kyrgios' retirement at US Open. Despite beating world number 1 Daniil Medvedev to reach the US Open quarterfinals, Australian Nick Kyrgios intimated that he may retire at the age of 27 owing to mental health issues related to his erratic play. During his shocking 7-6, 11, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2 triumph, Kyrgios crushed his racket twice in disgust after bringing reigning US Open winner Medvedev back into the match. Despite his surprising triumph, Kyrgios was left ruminating on the mental health concerns that tennis causes him, and he intimated that he may not play again after this tournament. I've been in some extremely challenging mental conditions and some really dangerous places, he stated. Obviously, if you look at the numbers, I wasn't supposed to win. If I'm lucky, I might take a set or 2, put on a show for the folks. It's a fantastic victory, but when I leave the court, I'm almost grateful that it's over because there's just so much pressure every time I go out on a court. So much expectation and so much uncertainty of what I can do. I just sat in the locker room afterward, extremely proud of my performance, because there was a point when I didn't believe I was capable of producing and accomplishing this. I just struggled mentally for the first 6 or 7 years of my profession. I had fantastic outcomes, surprising results, tried really hard, and then tanked. Following that, Rafa Nadal is considering taking a break from tennis. With the year's final Grand Slam competed, Nadal indicated he would take some time off to recover, but he was unsure when he would return. I need to go back home. I need to fix things. I need to live, he explained. Then I'm not sure when I'll be able to return. I'm going to try to psychologically prepare. I'll be there when I feel like I'm ready to compete again. After sustaining an abdominal strain that forced him to quit from his Wimbledon semi-final against Nick Kyrgios, Nadal arrived at the US Open short on matches. In the first 2 rounds, he lost sets to Rinky Hijikata and Fabio Fognini, but he looked more like himself in a straight sets triumph against Richard Gasquet on Saturday. Tiafoe, whose only previous Slam quarter-final appearance came 3 years ago in Australia, had not lost a set going into the match, and he took advantage of some sluggishness and surprise errors from Nadal to win the opener. When Nadal returned from an 8.5-minute break, which included having his wrists bandaged to attempt to combat the humidity, there were some boos, but he took his chance at the end of the second to tie the match. The Spaniard did not appear to be at ease, and Tiafoe sprinted to his chair after breaking serve in the 3rd set, winning with one of the greatest games of the tournament, cracking 2 winners and an ace. Next up, in the US Open final, Alcaraz will face Ruud. Carlos Alcaraz, a Spanish teenager, interrupted Frances Tiafoe's dream run at the US Open with a 6-7, 8-6, 6-3, 6-1, 6-7, 7-5, 6-3 triumph to reach his first major final, where he will face Casper Ruud for the world #1 ranking. Despite playing till the early morning hours in his 2 5-set bouts, the 19-year-old showed no signs of exhaustion on Friday, dashing around the court to win the hard-fought battle. "We're in a Grand Slam semi-final and we have to give everything we have inside. Battle until the last ball," Alcaraz stated in an on-court interview. "It makes no difference if we fight for 5 or 6 hours. In court, you must offer your all. Frances gave his everything on the court. This is incredible. If Alcaraz defeats Ruud, he will become the world's youngest world #1, surpassing the record set by Australian Leighton Hewitt, who was 20 when he became the world's top-ranked player in 2001. Big Foe's victory ends his journey in the tournament. His surprising accomplishment and distinctly American life story enthralled fans and drew luminaries such as former First Woman Michelle Obama to Arthur Ashe Stadium on Friday night. Since Andy Roddick won the US Open in 2003, no American male has won a Grand Slam title, and Tiafoe was the first Black American man to reach the semifinals at Flushing Meadows since the late Hall of Famer Arthur Ashe did in 1972. Following that, Swiatek defeats Jabeur to win her first US Open title. Iga Swiatek, as good as she's been this year, arrived at the US Open unsure of what to expect. She remarked that in Flushing Meadows, where she'd never made it past the 4th round, women use different, slightly lighter tennis balls than males. She was attempting to adjust to the city's noise and distractions and the hustle and bustle, and she came in with a 4-4 record since her 37-match winning streak stopped in July. None of that matters anymore, as Swiatek defeated number 5 Ons Jabeur 6-2, 7-6, 7-5 in Arthur Ashe Stadium on Saturday to win her first US Open title and 3rd Grand Slam overall. Swiatek's blowout victory boosted her tour-level record to 55-7 with 7 trophies in 2022, both of which are WTA records. This competition was undoubtedly difficult since it was held in New York. "It's extremely loud. It's insane." She stated, "I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to handle it mentally. What an incredible tournament, what an incredible season. I'm sure we'll have many more, and I'm confident you'll win some of them, so don't worry." The 21-year-old from Poland won the French Open for the 2nd time in June, becoming the first woman to do it since Angelique Kerber in 2016. Jabeur, 28, of Tunisia, is the first African woman and the first Arab woman to reach a Grand Slam final, and this was her 2nd in a row. However, she was 0-2 at that time, having finished runner-up at Wimbledon in July. Finally, Piers and Sanders won the US Open mixed doubles title. John Piers and Storm Sanders won the US Open for the first time in 21 years, becoming the first Australian pair to do so in their maiden Grand Slam together. In Saturday's high-quality final in New York, the new combination had to come back from a set-down to upset Belgian Kirsten Flipkens and Frenchman Edouard Roger-Vasselin 4-6, 6-4, 10-7. Their victory added to Australia's good run of major slam doubles victories in 2022, which included men's victories at the Australian Open, Thanasi Kokkinakis and Nick Kyrgios, and Wimbledon, Max Purcell and Matt Ebden. It was Sanders' first Grand Slam success, while Piers, 34, showed off his long-standing double skill in the Arthur Ashe Stadium, adding the title to his 2017 Australian Open men's victory. The 4th seeds proved their worth in a tense battle, playing their best tennis at the match's opening and in the 10-point tiebreak decider, and their overpowering finish saw them become the first all-Australian mixed doubles champions at Flushing Meadows since Renee Stubbs and Todd Woodbridge in 2001, while also earning a tidy $163,000 US dollars, 238,000 Australian dollars. "I can't believe we're Grand Slam champions," said Sanders, a 28-year-old Queensland left-hander from Rockhampton, the town that produced the greatest southpaw of all time, Rod Laver. Sanders, who reached the women's doubles semis, turned to Piers and said, "It's insane. Thank you very much for having fun with me. It was an unforgettable experience to play on the world's largest court. What are your thoughts in this matter? Please leave a remark." Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.